Alright. Well, y'all mess with y'all see part of the computer down here. Alright, so we're gonna do this on the phone. I'm not gonna try to make this too long because I'm gonna try to copy in some stuff. I'm in Motel 6 in San Diego, California. Well, a suburb, little city of San Diego. My trainer came home on home time. We've knocked out 100 hours. Still working on the back end. I'm now able to get it smoothly in and back. I was off a little bit. But I think I met his wife, and we'll get into that later. I really like them. They're very nice people. He had to come home. They're into several different functions. So, like, their dog is a wiener dog, cute wiener dog. I've never seen one with the coat. It almost looks like a Weimaraner coat. It's just really cute dog, sweet dog named Lucy. And the dog is in a wiener dog event, so he got home for that. We got here to San Diego Friday early morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I got a 3 night stay here, which actually I needed. Thank God for it. And, like I said, God watches out for me. I'm at 100 hours. I got 100 hours to go. The company I'm with, I have to do a close quarterbacking class, probably because I fell off the truck. I think it's anytime you have any issue that is a claim or a safety issue, it's my presumption. They really haven't told me. She said they put it on me in February. If it's a mistake, it's okay. I need to practice. I had volunteered for it anyway back before I got on the crazy lady truck. And I had taken it in Phoenix, but they didn't record it, but it's okay. And then so now I'm required to take it again, which I'm okay with. So I've got to remind him because we got to take it by the 29th, which means I got to go to one of the terminals and take it. I'm hoping we get to Phoenix because Phoenix, I like the guy who does it in Phoenix, even though he sometimes is not the friendliest, but his technique is phenomenal. So it's just extra practice. So I'll knock that out. Getting used to backing the automatic. I'm much smoother now. I don't have all that jerking and crap going on. It's really just learning to hold the fuel pedal just really light and give it enough pressure. Also, you have to wait for it to respond because the truck itself is actually, since it's automatic, it's actually shifting its own little gears. So you have to wait for it to respond. So that much has been a plus. He's here for that event, the Wiener Dog event, and him and his wife I think he's Irish, so he's into the whole Irish stuff like kilts and going to different events like that. They also like Renaissance Festival. She's a writer, and so I have a background because I had worked part-time at Borders Books and Music years ago, which I did it just really to buy books. I told you I'm a geek. And so she's a writer, and so I made some suggestions because they're going to be moving from California to Arizona. And I've written down some suggestions on, there's a bookstore in Arizona that's geared to local writers. And I made some suggestions. I met her, lovely lady, love his wife. But she said something to me that actually, I believe God always uses folks to, sometimes he speaks through people. That's my view. And she said to me, because I told her about me struggling with the backing and how he's been trying to help me out. And she says, have you ever thought that you're overthinking it? Since you've done it before, you can do it again. And I was really good. I mean, really good out of trucking school. I could do a blindside back without even ever getting out the truck to do it. But you're supposed to get out and look. I could do without ever getting out and look. I could just put it right in the whole blindside back, really tight, crazy backs. When I teamed with a friend of mine, a lot of times I would, if it was a difficult back, I'd get in there and do it because I could do it. Could make my corrections while I was back in the truck. I mean, it's just insanity. I was that good. I will say, even though I felt I was extremely good, this dude is like phenomenal. And in his truck, I really believe you could go out with a ruler and measure right and left of the white or yellow line, and he is equidistant, right and left in that truck. It has to be perfect for him. He's that OCD about stuff. And like I said, if I'm even 10% as good as this guy is, if I'm even 10%, I'll be 18 times better than what I was before by the time I get off his truck. So I have 100 more hours to go. I needed to stay. The fractured ankle, the ankle's doing good. What I have found is, as I told you guys, I was non-weight bearing for 3 months. And with therapy, they got it back to where I was walking, able, but the muscles, I'm still rebuilding muscles. So climbing in and out of the truck it's been a challenge, but I'm doing it, but it's been like I'm working every muscle, but the only way to do is to work it. I still have a little bit of a limp. Well, no, I have a limp. I have a limp as far as I call it called penguin walk. What I am finding is that my right leg is really the one that's really giving me the headache. And I think it's because I worked it so hard to compensate for the other leg. So it's really just that, and both muscles, just really rebuilding the muscles. So when I got here, it was upstairs. I was worn out, and I slept the very first day, ordered my meals to the hotel room. Yesterday, I got out the hotel, and what I did is I took Lyft over to, I really love sushi, and I had a craving for sushi, so I found a place called Narumi Sushi here in the San Diego area, and I took Lyft over there, and had sushi, which was really good. I'm going to try to see if I'll edit this and put some pictures up for you guys. So I did that, and but yeah, I'll put some pictures on here that I got from us being over the road. But I've been all the way to the East Coast, back to the West Coast. I think the farthest we went was New Jersey, and then we came all the way back. We dropped load in Vegas, Utah, Vegas, and I've been to the yards. Actually, it was not that far from the old Pride company that I used to work for. Their yard, they've actually really grown, and then the yard that I'm at is huge because this company used to have a much smaller yard in the Utah area. And I was like, wow, you guys have grown. So it was good to see that. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, my plan is still the 4 to 6 months. I'll revisit. Look, I'm still going to look at their lease purchase program. But like I said, because of some things that I know about their lease purchase program, unless I have a cousin who's a lease purchase op with this company. But if it's not conducive to what I'm looking at, I'm looking at some other companies, and I'm also going to work with one of the groups that I'm online with. I've actually talked to their recruiter, and just through messaging, and she made some really suggestions. Stay at this company a year, which it'll be a year by the time I'm looking, because I'm gonna stay with this company, I think, through winter. I'm gonna stay company through winter because I don't want to have truck payments in winter months, because truck payment in winter months means you're going to have to, winter is like the hardest time for trucking. You have a lot of downtime waiting for weather to clear and so forth. So I don't want to do that. So I'll research it at that point. Anyway, trying to think what else. Yeah, so that's just an update on where I'm at, OTR. Oh, shout out to Renard. I just sent you some messages and you've responded. I'm happy that you're doing good in trucking school. If you guys, any of you guys are new and you're going in trucking school, what he shared was that he's one of the top people in his class. Let me share that with you real quick. When the trucking companies are looking at you, there are background conversations that are happening with your trucking school, with the companies, because they have relationships with a lot of trucking companies. And they will tell them which students they really want to look at. So just a good warning to you is that if that is what you have going on, you definitely want to be as up the top. I was probably right at the 90% range of my class, and so that's why I had a lot of the choices I had, where some people in our trucking school couldn't get with some of the companies, or couldn't get what they call higher offer letters with the companies. So when I left Warner, I had like 5 or 6 other higher offer letters. The trucking school should tell you to apply for more than one trucking company, because if it doesn't want to work out with one, you can always go over to the other one, unless you have a major safety issue. So definitely you want to have several higher offer letters. Also, you could go to one and something with the physical doesn't go the way you want. When I went to Conway, they have a physical where you have to pull up on this thing. And if you couldn't physically do that, then obviously if that was a company you had a higher offer letter with, you'd be out. But you could go to, let's say, Werner, and all they didn't do is a routine physical, and you do you go out with a trainer and you get in. So you want to have, anything could come up that would cause them. If you had, so like with Werner, if you had a suspended license anytime within a certain period of time, they wouldn't take you, no matter what the reasoning was. That was back in 2009-10. I don't think it's that way right now because of the shortage in trucking. They need truckers. So, but I'm just using that as an example. They could have any reason. So definitely get as many higher offer letters as you can, and do that. The other thing I'm going to recommend, a lot of times the trucking companies are going to gear you, or the trucking schools are going to gear you towards companies they have a relationship with. Don't limit yourself to that. There are other companies, and sometimes even smaller companies, that will hire new trainees. So like I think or now CFI hires new trainees. If you if you're looking to go into it, I also recommend work with a recruiter. And on one of the groups I'm on, it's Team RG, they have Heart Solutions, I think Heart Driver Solutions. And so I recommend, if you guys aren't on there, or if you need the information, let me know, and I'll see if I can find a way. I think there's a phone number. I can go look and see what the phone number is. And if you need that, let me know, and I'll get the contact information for them. But you can just go and probably join up for the Team RG. And she's always on there. Heidi, I think it's Heidi Hart or something like that. And she's Heart Driver Solutions, and she used to be a fleet manager for, I think Conway, one of the companies. So she's very familiar with the industry, and she's built relationships with different companies. So there's a lot of options out there that I think if you go through a recruiter, is better. And that's kind of how I ended up at that's how I ended up at Pride. I was a recruiter, a company that recruited me, a driver recruiter. So I like the recruiters because they're going to have a relationship well enough to where they can tell you if there's a good company or bad company. I like this lady because she seems to be pretty honest, and she said not all recruiters are going to tell you to stick it out for a year, because she knows where I work, and she says just try to stick it out for the year. So definitely look into that. So any of you new drivers, don't forget to also, I know the trucking schools are going to tell you to apply for one thing, but also don't forget to possibly look at your other options of talking to a trucking recruiter, letting them know you're in trucking school, and when you're done, you want to look for a good company. Because if you can start out in a company, let's say like a CFI, and CFI is really, Conway was really, I call it the grown-up company. I don't know if they're still the same way now that they're CFI, but it was Conway. If you can start out with a company like that, then that could be a company that you could actually do a career with. If you start out with some of the other starter companies, it's very rare that you stay, 10, 15 years. Some people are doing it, don't get me wrong. Some people are doing it. I went to school with a guy he still works for the same starter company I was with before, and he's been there since 2010. This guy, he started the same starter company, and he's been with them for 20 some years. So some people make a career of it. It just depends. It really depends on, I think, the relationship you get with the driver manager, and it's kind of the luck of a draw. I really do say that. It's not everyone, and you're not going to find it at a lot of the big starter companies, because you do become just a number. You're the number of your truck. They may use your name, but they don't know who the hell you are. You're that number of the truck, or your driver number, and that's what they really know you by. Whereas if you can find a medium to small company to work for, you're treated more like a human and a person, and you feel like a human and person, and you can build those relationships. So, my next move is owner op, and just with hopefully a good company. I am looking at the training part. I'm reconsidering whether I want to train or not. And let's share that real quick. The reason I've kind of reconsidered, and it's not, look at what he's doing. He's doing a phenomenal job, but I see the frustration. But I also became concerned with the first trainer I had, which was, like I said, a very nice person. But there were things that I saw that is a thing with this new generation, their addiction to technology. Their work ethic view. Not saying she didn't work. Her purpose for the money she's making was different. But work ethic to me also means how you conduct yourself and handle yourself in business. And no offense to a new generation of people, I'm just going to be from an older person who's seen, or a middle-aged person who's looking at it. I don't see the same mindset that I grew up with when it comes down to being working in business. So there's things that you shouldn't do that you do because you want to do it, and it's not good. And to me, it's all part of work ethic. I mean, and I could use a corporate example, which I will use that. I won't use a trucking example. But I remember one company I was in, the girl would just lean back in her chair and put her feet up on her desk. We're in an office environment. This isn't your house. This is somebody's place of business. And you just, take your shoes off and put them up on your desk. And where's your home training? Where's your responsibility as a corporate person? So it's the same way I'm seeing in trucking. I'm seeing things that just don't make any kind of sense. Anyway, but you guys be blessed. I'll try to put some views up here on this video. A little bit of rambling, a little bit of catching up, but we're got 100 hours left before I have to test out. So, and then after that, like I said, I'm counting down 46 months and trying to figure out how to fit the lap band in, because I would like to get that done before I do the owner-op thing. And yeah, I'll let you know the whole journey, and you guys kind of be on the journey with me. Peace. We just went and ate here. I'm in Louisiana. We're over at that truck stop over there. Hey everybody. Hope y'all can see me okay. Peace.